Do you guys remember as a kid when people would ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then as kids, you say something completely random, like saying some shit like, oh, I want to be an NBA player. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a lawyer. Just like all these random things. But, as we get older, we sooner realize that a lot of these people who pick these like type of jobs and everything, you realize that a lot of these people do not pick their professions. Now, this doesn't apply to every single person, obviously, but there's a lot of people in this life that's just trying to survive and everything in this terrible economy and world, right? But in my last 9 years of being in the adult world, I just kind of realized is that I don't really care what I do as a career anymore, if that makes sense. And I feel like careers in general are slowly dying due to everything that's been going on. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that careers are full on dead, but they're basically about done in terms of like the entry level position, and just for a lot of people in general. Because yes, you can make any job a career, but it just feels like that a lot of people nowadays are just not making any like type of career anymore, and they're just all just doing jobs. And there's a reason why for that. Now, the most obvious reason is that more people are starting their own businesses and everything, where a lot of people are saving their money and everything. They're budgeting their finances and starting their own business because they rather take the risk and take the leap and try to have a successful business with more money potentially than just working at a job nowadays that just does not pay enough for a lot of people. Even the most higher up type jobs with like paying 100K and everything a year, a lot of those are taken away from taxes. And the reality of a lot of it is that most of those people are actually making only 60K a year after taxes. And it's kind of a tough pill to swallow too, because the more you work or the more you earn, the more they take out. Now, you can't really escape this system either, because if you do have your own business and everything, as long as you have a social security number and everything, the government will definitely want you to pay taxes through 1099 as a self-employed contract worker. But at the end of the day, man, you do make more money doing that than you probably would as a W-2 employer. Now, I will never forget that feeling as a kid where schools cared so much about what you want to do as a career, what you want to do to work for somebody else and everything. And I'll never forget that unreliable stress of, what if I'm a failure because I do not want to get where I want to work at? What if I don't fucking succeed what I want to do because there's things I wanted to do that didn't involve working for somebody else? And this was more like middle school and everything, because I remember seeing like bands and artists also get really successful at a young age of like 20. And I felt like that, man, I was only 13. I felt like I was running out of time to figure out exactly what I want to do as a career. But the sad part was, I was just only getting started. I'll never forget where I was determining my happiness to where I was working at, and defying who I was just because of the job place too. But then I realized that when it comes to the job place and everything, is your happiness is not determined by where you work at. Your happiness is determined by you. We just happen to work at a place just to provide us money at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, guys, a lot of us are replaceable. Even at the jobs we are actually, passionate about and also, want to be successful in. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow, because a lot of corporations and a lot of businesses, for the most part, will just look at you as a number. And it's a really heartbreaking thing, man. And that's when I finally realized, after working so many different types of jobs and everything, that it doesn't even matter about where I work at anymore for me, because at the end of the day, we could still be happy without relying on a fucking job to determine our happiness, man, or status, because a lot of things in society is very status driven, and I absolutely just do not like that. And it does make you wonder, is why is there so many people with a lot more money than they were as kids, so much less happier than they were as children? And I think the answer is pretty simple. A lot of us want financial freedom, or the freedom to kind of do whatever and whenever, man, because we are not really made on this earth to be a fucking, corporate, worker all the time. I think that if a lot of people found a way to get more financial freedom, like, make like not even like a lot of money, like 40,000 a year, and still be able to do whatever the hell they want and pay their bills, I think a lot more people would be a lot more satisfied. And I definitely kind of understand that now. And even look at other content creators, like for the greatest example, dude, Wyler. The dude literally quit his 100K job a year just to pursue YouTube and saved his money to death so he could pursue it. And I think he's a lot happier doing something that gives him a lot more financial freedom, despite not making as much money, and just being able just to kind of, just explore the world and see other things. It's really kind of cool. I'm also very grateful. I've got to job hop a lot in my life too, to kind of learn different types of jobs and see how other things work, man, because I've seen other people who stay at at the same job for so long that they kind of get tunnel vision. They kind of forget who they are as a person because they let some company take over their personality. And I think that's not cool either. That's also kind of terrifying to really if you really think about it. Unless you're like a professional sports athlete or something, that a lot of these careers anyways are not even worth it. And a lot of people are still broke as shit after retiring or even before retiring. And hell, there's even some people that are even trying to come out of retirement because they didn't make enough their whole careers, and that is also scary too. I will say realistically, the only job you really could make a decent amount of money in a potential career nowadays that's not like a unrealistic goal like being a professional sports athlete is being a trades worker, man, because there's a lot of different types of trades and everything that will pay you very decently. But the problem is that a lot of people are having a hard time getting in these jobs as well, because it's not about what you know, unfortunately. It's about who you know. And sometimes you got to have connections to get in these type of jobs, and that makes it really hard. But it is worth it if you can find someone that can get you in. Unfortunately, too, that it'll take you a while to start making really good money in these trades, too. Like, it'll take a good couple of years, and they'll also pay for your school. And the weird part is, too, though, is that you have to commit to them for a very long time, for a certain amount of years, or, you might have to pay for everything, and you don't want that, So you have to be very careful when picking this decision as a career. But once I realized I let that stigma go about letting a career define my success, I realized that I was actually a bit happier, like, just doing whatever I wanted to do. Because at the end of the day, man, like, there's a lot of things in life that are a lot more valuable than money. And money is definitely important, but as long as you make enough to pay the bills, man, that's all what really matters. I've also learned how to fully control my life when it comes to anything happening to me in case something does not work out, because I'm always one step ahead, man. And I realize that now I don't really feel anxious or scared about anything anymore. And just to let you guys know that it is okay if you have a job that just pays the bills while you pursue your hobbies on the side as well. Because there's a lot of professions where there's a lot of people who are into some really fun jobs, and especially for like nail cosmetology type stuff. But then, they realize they're still not making enough to where they need to get to be. So a lot of them, unfortunately, will have to quit to kind of pursue something on the side. Because that's what my sister did, man. She definitely is about to quit her job at nails because she loves doing nails and everything. But she's getting burnt out and not getting paid a whole lot of money, and she kind of feels a little bamboozled, and she's starting to lose the passion for the job, so she's starting to keep doing nails on the side. And that's what kind of made me realize too that, yeah, I'm kind of glad I did not like try to pursue something and make a hobby my job, because there's a lot of people who try to make their hobbies a job, and it just simply does not work all the time. If you can somehow balance between having a passion and a hobby and making good money while you do it, take advantage of that, because it doesn't come very often, and don't let that opportunity slip away. Anyways, everybody, thank you all so much for listening. And what are your guys' thoughts about, not caring about where you work at anymore? What made you decide, I don't really care anymore? Because I would love to hear your all stories, so feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I also do hope you guys are doing very well, because for me, spring is around the corner. The weather is finally consistently nice. It's daylight savings time just started, and I'm not going to lie, it did mess me up quite a bit at my job and everything at first, because I didn't know. But yes, it has been nice having this see the sun go down at like 8 o'clock, and St. Patty's Day is coming up, and I'm super pumped because that's around my birthday. And me and a couple buddies got together, and they invited me to go take me out to Dave & Buster's, so I'm extremely excited for that, and it's amazing. Anyways, everybody, I'll catch y'all in the next video, and peace out.